Usually I do gigs, but I realised this was theatre, so I need to make more effort. Even that's what you do, you put the moustache on, yeah?
This is right? Am I
Just straight off.
Okay.
Yes. Quick and painless.
I think it's not upside down. We'll soon find out. There you go, sir.
Thank you, Sophie. From Catford Summers to Victorian England, and as it was then called, Cattleford. It's 1830, an illuminating lecture is taking place in the town hall. Oh. Thank you, Sophie.
Got some gaffer tape.
This is a brief lesson in the pursuit of freedom and avoidance of colonialism, with admonishments and advice, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, here we are at a splendid event to enjoy. Are we having a good time so far?
Yes!
I do hope your journey to get here was nice and not filled with horrors or terrors or vice. As you walked through the park or city or street, did you hear any strange things that you can repeat? Any crazy or wild flora or fauna? Need some Pritzker. No? Well, that's because you're not an explorer. Oh, that's because you're not an explorer. You see, you might think that people are all just like people. Get me some Pritt sticks. Well, actually, some of them aren't. So be careful. There was a little bit of gender swapping in Victorian. It was just a bit undercover. This is how they did it on stage. I'll tell you a tale that will make you think twice. I'll tell you a tale that will make you think twice. When those mighty men like Columbus went out overseas to find new places, all round about, off they sailed from the isle, and it took them a while, but at last they found land, yet could not understand how the creatures they met looked like humans, and yet they were not very dressed. No, not even wearing a vest. And their skin was not white. No, not even quite, it was dark, it was brown, eyes under a frown, staring like night in a storm, giving a fright to Columbus et al., like nothing they'd ever seen born. Like nothing they'd ever seen born. They did not have tails, these males and females, no fur on the skin or beards on the chin, 2 eyes, 1 nose, 10 fingers, 10 toes, incredibly, one must suppose they were human-ish at that, and yet not one of them wore a hat. No! Not one of them wore a hat. These creatures sang songs, and they gathered in throngs, and they danced to the beat of a drum with their feet. And they made sounds from their throats, but they did not own coats or shoes. No, they did not own coats or shoes. They sheltered their young from the heat of the sun, and they slept in the glow of the moon, and they made time to play, and they worked in the day, but did not take tea in the afternoon. No, they did not take tea in the afternoon. So what are these creatures with the same features we carry on our faces, who live in these places, upright on 2 feet, but with just half a sheet for clothing? Are they not self-conscious? Fully conscious? Self-loathing? At the very least, they should all be self-loathing. Oh yes, they should definitely all be self-loathing. Well, the poor explorers shook heads, could not sleep in their beds. Their behaviour's so odd, and they don't know our God. No hat, no vest. They have not passed the test of humanness. After much confusion, there is just one conclusion. They are lesser than us, so there should be no fuss if we kill them. And their skin is not light, which is why it's all right to rape them. And they don't read the Bible, so it's perfectly viable to sell them. They don't own a gun, which is why we won in the first place. We have all the power, and so they are our property. They are just not as clever as we, and so they will never be free. and so they will never be free. And that is why you must never forget to wear a nice hat on your head. If you don't want to lose it, and to be mistaken for less than an animal and to be enslaven, use a knife and a fork and a spoon, and always take tea in the afternoon. You must always take tea in the afternoon. Thank you, Sophie. Wasn't she good? Thank you. We'll talk about the moustache later.